But at a certain point in time, I think that what you would think of as racism in this country, or you could fill in the blank, sexism, or any other ism or form of discrimination, it gets to be small enough, not to be zero, but small enough that the best thing we can do is let it atrophy to irrelevance. And if you, otherwise you try to attack it, it's like an immune system. My background's in biology, so sometimes I think in these kinds of analogies, but it's like an immune system trying to fight a virus. Long after the virus is gone, or almost gone even, it starts to just attack its own organs. That's what I see happening in the country. And so here's my view, to make that kind of abstract reflection a little simpler. Today, the best way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. That's what I believe. And I think that in the name of anti-racism, which is a movement that calls out for us to be more race conscious of the differences, to correct for them, I think we've actually created more racism in this country. And it's sad because, so I've started businesses.
Okay, good.
Multiple different businesses.
We're live.
It turns out I've hired people of every combination you could probably not every combination, most combinations you could imagine of race and gender and this or that or the other thing. In one case, it was a black woman who was in a senior position of authority. One of the well-compensated, high position of authority. A lot of people would be jealous of that position and want it. And I heard, right, somebody who's upset she's above the hierarchy. She just got her job because she's a black woman. She's checking a box. And that hurt me, not because I took it as an insult, because I don't hire people that way. But it hurts me to say that's unfair to her. It's not fair to anybody. It's not just to anybody to stand for a system where we see each other as called upon to see each other on the basis of the color of our skin.
I'll stop it there because I can understand how people in the inflection through which Vivek Ramaswamy delivers his message can hear something of an Obama inflection. First off, Bill Miller, how am I doing? Let's see, if the internet holds up, I'll be doing better. The internet is so slow, I pulled up this chat. How am I doing, Bill? I feel like Bart Simpson in that episode of The Simpsons when the lawyer guy is like, how are you doing? Fine. Oh, you're not fine. You are in constant agonizing pain. Except I am in constant agonizing pain. For those who have never had a sinus infection before, when I was younger, I would get them chronically. Like get a mild congestion sinus infection or an ear infection. And once upon a time, I had a doctor who said, you shouldn't blow your nose, because when you blow your nose, you increase pressure on your ear passages, and you can blow mucus into your ear passages, and that can increase your chances of getting an ear infection. You should snort your boogers, which I always thought was a good excuse to snort my boogers instead of blow my nose. But my internet sucks. Damn it. Yeah, the internet sucks so much. It's like, let me refresh and just see how bad it is. I let the video play for a little longer than I ordinarily do because I wanted to see what the internet looked like. It's giving me, I got 3 bars on the internet. That sounds a little blown out here. Got 3 bars on my internet connection, but StreamYard says unstable. So we're going to have to live with it. Oh, you want TMI, John? Man, I haven't gotten into the TMI yet. So I got a bit of a cold, got a bit of congestion. Luckily, it wasn't COVID, because if it were, I'd be over it by now, like by 2 days. And I've got a sinus infection. If you've never had one, look at my face. I want everyone on the internet to feel bad for me. It feels like someone is sticking a spike through my nose, into the back of my head, behind my eyeball, and then curving it around to make it come down on the top of my tooth. And I just finally today, hopefully, diabetes, antibiotics will get rid of it. So I haven't been able to sleep for more than an hour straight for 3 days. And yesterday, I discovered you can't take Sudafed before going to bed, because in as much as it temporarily soothes and relieves symptoms. I love how these medicines say temporarily relieve symptoms. Geez, thanks for the clarification. I thought it permanently relieved them. You can't take Sudafed before going to bed because my heart was racing like a jackhammer. Oh, so that's it. That's been my holidays. I've been up in the cottage now with the family, sitting here like a baby. I may have turned to God once or twice last night in the middle of the night just to make the pain stop. Kids are having a fun time, and that's really all that matters. The virus affects the voice box too. Yes, it does. Oh, the virus. I don't know if you mean that virus or just a sinus infection. It's like, what happens is it doesn't drain properly. It gets inflamed, and you can literally feel the entire universe right there. And if I tap, I'll stop complaining after this. If I just tap above that eyebrow. So I was thinking, do I go live today? Just so you know, the floodlight that I have, that one little LED light, it's torture. But we're going to do this because, look, I told my wife, she's like, how can you put out a short video, but you can't do a stream when you're sick? Short video, I go talk for 10 minutes and I spend 2 hours like a little baby in a bed with a blanket editing. It takes a lot of energy to be linear for an hour and a half, if I may compliment myself and suggest that I'm linear. So I said, today I'm feeling a little better. And best throat infection description ever. Oh, and then the things I've tried, by the way. Eucalyptus up my nostrils. I was inhaling boiling water with salt in it. All I wanted to do in the middle of the night, I wanted to go to the beach. That's all I wanted. I wanted that healing salt water going in every orifice of my body. Oh, so my wife says, you can do a short video, but a stream is harder. But we got to talk about like 3 big stories. And I got to see how everybody's doing because it's Christmas. If you can imagine this, where we're at right now, we got 28 people that are going to be sitting at a dinner table tonight. We've had, 25 people sleeping in one unit at any given point in time. It's amazing. It's amazing. But, I found my corner nook for a little bit of privacy. We're sleeping 5 people in one room. My whole family's in one room. It's amazing, though. So we're sitting down with the whole family. And I spent a couple of days staying away so that I wouldn't, and when I thought I was contagious, wouldn't get everybody sick. And I'm like, this is just a bloody sinus infection. Oh, my goodness. No, see, potato head. Sinus infections, once they get into the stage where you need antibiotics, are not contagious anymore. It's just my defective miniature body and my deviated septum, whatever the hell it is. So that's it. So I said, we got to do a stream today because we've had a big story. And I'm sitting there thinking about this all day. I was going to start with Shenna Bellows and her 2.5 minutes of political hackery. Robert Gouveia did a stream and he went into the details, the weeds of Shenna Bellows, the Maine Secretary of State. Call it whatever the hell you want. Hold on. Partisan hackery. We're going to get into this. I'm sitting here thinking like, Kierkegaard, life can only be understood forwards, but has to be lived backwards. No, life can only be understood backwards, but has to be lived forwards. I took a minute when I was sitting there waiting for the antibiotics to be ready in the pharmacy, thinking about the last 2015 to 2024, 9 years. Hold on, I'm going to have to read this one just for 1 second because this one caught my... Viva, today's the first day, November 17th. I didn't have a fever, a cough, a headache, and the earache. I was on antibiotics twice and a steroid. John F. Kennedy, what I've grown to appreciate is feeling good, being healthy is the most important thing on earth. When I got sick, when I had to go to the ER in Florida, and the only thing I was thinking of was, I'm going to be out of commission. All I want to do is feel healthy, walk around, and be productive. Right now, I'm just waiting. Video quality is getting better. I'm just waiting for that feeling to start coming better. The fun part is when the sinuses are so clogged that the water from the neti pot can't get through. Okay, we'll stop after this one. What I'm waiting for is that moment where you blow out, and then you hear the crack, and it feels like your sinus is cracked, and it's like the parting of the Red Sea, and then it goes, and it immediately feels better, and you know that was it. Okay. So anyhow, Trump, we're going to talk about Trump. Trudeau is giving out tampons. That's fine, in federally regulated bathrooms, including men's bathrooms, because it's 2022, people, and some other fun stuff. But before we get into everything, let's just see how everybody here is doing. How's everybody doing? We're live and we're good on Rumble. We're live and we're good on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. where I just happened to see Layla NB says, David, do not take any ibuprofen or naproxen or decongestants. They raise blood pressure. Take Benadryl and acetaminophen and use hydrazine to rinse sinuses and go to Nasonex sparingly. Little sparking lights in the field of vision can mean high blood pressure, not an ocular migraine or I'm not taking any more meds. I also hate taking meds, but I'm screen grabbing that and I'm going to make sure. I don't have high blood pressure. I could feel my heart beating because it's just like, anyhow, so I haven't been feeling too good. But tomorrow's a new year and we're heading into 2024 and it's going to be one hell of a year. What else was there? So Trudeau tampons. I started with Vivek. We're going to go into something of a deep dive of Shannon Bells. We're going to go over the decision and we're going to talk about how we're living through a period of time where, because it happens as a drip over time, people sort of forget the beginning when they've gotten halfway through, forget halfway through when they get to, chapter 3. When you go over everything that and I'll put they in quotes, Democrats, the deep state, the system, the administration has done over the last 9 years, starting in 2015, it is mind-blowing that people don't understand that the people who are accusing Trump of being the tyrant who will never relinquish power, if and ever he gets power again, are the tyrants. They are the fascists. They are the anti-Democrats. And it's mind-blowing. So we're going to get into that. We're going to start with a good... Oh, yes, so by the way, standard shtick. I don't know if I'm going to be clipping any of this because the video is so bad, but we start on YouTube, Rumble, and vivabarneslaw.locals.com. We'll stop on YouTube in about 10, 15 minutes after. We'll cover the first story. Then we go exclusive on Rumble. After Rumble, and it's not going to be a long stream today, we're going to go over to Locals if I have time and energy and do a vivabarneslaw.locals.com after party. And that's it. If you like what I do, snip, clip, share away, and let everybody know that, I can't wait to get back to my studio. Can't wait to get back to feeling good. And can't wait to see what 2024 is going to bring. But if it's anything like 2023, check this out, people. Let me just see here. I want to get the right tweet. Not now. This is not the right tweet. For those of you who don't know, Patrick Bet David put out a tweet asking Trudeau what the logic was to this. And if you haven't heard, listen to this. It's not a joke. I thought it was a joke. Then I thought there must have been some miscommunication. Listen to this. CBC News, December 15, a couple weeks ago. Free menstrual products must now be available for employees in federally regulated workplace. All right. That makes sense. I mean, free. First of all, they're not free. In fact, I guarantee you that if you got them through open market capitalism, they'd be cheaper than the government contract that you're getting them with. They're not free because we paid for them. It's not free because somebody who stole your money then gives you something with the money they stole from you for free. We paid for it. Listen to this, though. So fine, okay, they're giving up free menstrual products. It's good. Nobody wants women having messes in the bathroom. Could be very embarrassing and could be very unhygienic. That's how you get pink eye. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, but that's not it. Next line, requirement applies to all employee washrooms regardless of gender. I think in 2024, we need to do away with the word gender. Sex, period. That's it. What does gender refer to? As far as I'm concerned, it refers to someone's sexual orientation or their sexual proclivities, their sexual preferences. What is gender? How you view yourself? Okay, good. We don't need to confound that word with just sex from here on in. Biological sex. So what this says here, you see, the requirement applies to all employee washrooms regardless of biological sex. Why would a man need a tampon in the men's bathroom? I can think of 3 reasons. Extremely hemorrhagic hemorrhoids. That would actually be wrong because I don't. For those of you who don't know what toxic shock syndrome is, don't look it up. If you're a woman, you definitely know what it is. I don't think men can stick tampons up their butts, even if they had hemorrhoids, to stop bleeding without running into some serious toxic shock syndrome problems. If you got a broken nose, I discovered that as a hack, or you get a bloody nose, stick a tampon up your nose, pinch it, absorb the blood, bada bing, bada boom, winner. Other than those 2 examples, I can't think of why a man would need a tampon in the men's bathroom. Beginning Friday, all federally regulated employers, including federal public service departments, crown corporations, banks, airports, and train yards, must provide free menstrual products in all employee washrooms. The change to the Canadian Labour Code, announced in May 2023, stipulated that as of December 15, these workplace washrooms must have free tampons and menstrual pads, as well as covered disposable container in every toilet stall. Okay, fine. Women's. Why are we going to get to men's? And I want to hear this. The products are intended for employee use. I'm going to cough. Hold on 1 second. The products are intended for employee use, not members of the public. Okay, that's reassuring. So our government is only being idiotic with our tax dollars for their own idiotic, obviously politically motivated staff. Okay, not intended for the public. Thank goodness. I thought, we're going to get members of the public coming in there, get them freebies. What perks do I have working for the federal government? Well, you get free tampons in the bathroom. The men's too. Men, don't think we're trying to screw you out of free tampons. Listen to this. Rachel Edinger started a petition calling for this in 2020 and was eventually presented in the House of Commons by her MP. Some people provide petitions to have Justin Trudeau removed from power, to have Tamara Leach appointed to the Order of Canada. Others petition to have tampons put in all bathrooms. If it were just the women's bathroom, I could understand it. When my wife had just delivered and had to go to work and had to lactate, it would have been nice to have a lactating room. If they offered a lactating room for men, I would have had some questions. Listen to this. Quote, we have to look at menstrual products as a necessity item just like toilet paper. Unless the toilet paper was only needed for people with anuses and vajayjays, if you don't have one of those holes, toilet paper might not be a necessity item. Okay, you can't provide a truly inclusive space for your employees without providing menstrual products. It sounds like an SNL gag that got picked up by reality. Edinger is the founder of Here for Her, a social enterprise focused on health across Canada, along with organizations that provide the government with recommendations for this move. Okay, there was a funnier part about this. Hold on, where was it? Another group was, okay, it doesn't matter. Providing free tampons and pads to employees also creates a more equitable work environment, White said. Okay, where was it further down? Here we go. This is it. This is the science, people. The people who tell you to trust the science, who say if you don't want to take that jibby jab, you're an anti-vax, anti-science conspiracy theorist. My light's going down. Listen to this. Not only women or those who identify as women menstruate, said Edinger. Show me your papers. Show me your work, please. Can you provide a source for that? Now, there is a theory that men go through a menstrual cycle, like an up and down in the month. So when you accuse a woman of being temperamental on her period, that's, what's the word I'm looking for? When you are against women. Misandry is the other one. Now, oh my goodness. Well, that's how fatigued I am. Misogyny. I'm such an idiot. If you accuse a woman of being on her period if she's temperamental, first you'll get slapped by your wife. No, I would not get slapped by my wife because 9 out of 10 times I would be right. But people say that that's misogyny because even men have periods of the month where they're depressed and whatever. And I could put some stock in that idea. I know that there's certain times of month where I get ups and downs, whatever. But not only women or those who identify as women menstruate, said Edinger. Trans men, gender non-conforming and two-spirit folks menstruate as well, and everyone who menstruates deserves to menstruate with dignity. I'm going to give this all to you. Can you believe this? Menstruate with dignity. I want to see the work that shows that men can menstruate. And I'm even just trying to make sense of it. Like, hypothetically, someone has had the bottom surgery. They've had a neo-vagina replace their penis. They still don't menstruate. There might be other fluids coming out of there. Maybe tampon is good for them. It's the people who tell you to trust the science are the most unscientific anti-science quacks on earth. They're oddly enough the same people who say, we're in this to preserve democracy. So I just had to take a little... then there's some memes going around of Dylan Mulvaney with a tampon with Nutella on it, but you know what the meme is about. If Justin Trudeau's into this, he's got to show us that he's using a tampon. I won't read that for the kids. But if Justin Trudeau's serious about this, he should show us how he menstruates. I have no doubt that he does. Patrick Bet-David puts out a tweet and says, what's the logic behind this? Where is it here? Yeah, what's just, I love it. I would pay money to see Justin Trudeau on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. There's not a snowball's chance in summer that Trudeau would ever do it. I would pay money to see that. I say the only possible logic to this, because it's farcical. It's farcical. It's the British comedy, Monty Python-esque. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that one out. The only reason is to enrage people, to despair people, to make people feel that there is no potential future for right-thinking individuals. Not right politically, although it tends to align. For logical, science-based thinking in the future. It is to demoralize a population into thinking that they are destined to be governed by absolute corrupt criminals, and it's to enrage them into doing something stupid publicly. I just want to read it one more time. The only possible logic is to engage in the distraction so they focus on this insanity, as opposed to Justin Trudeau's wholesale destruction of Canada, society as we know it. Not only women or those who identify as women menstruate, said Edinger. Trans men, gender non-conforming, and two-spirit folks menstruate as well. And everyone who menstruates deserves to menstruate with dignity. Holy crab apples. No, it's to demoralize, and it's also just to distract from what Trudeau's actually doing. Like he's burning the country down in real time, telling you that he's not done doing it yet. He's not done with his rule of power. And if you thought he was going to leave willingly, you're just going to have to vote him out of office because he made a promise to you. And whether you want him there or not, he's going to fulfill that promise, spoken like a true abuser. It's to distract from the shit that they're doing. The absolute devastation of a country, of a nation, of a society, of a morale, of a fabric of what was once a free and democratic society. Your mic level is hot. Damn it, I thought I brought it down. Hold on. Okay, let me ring. Oh, it says, you know what? I might have brought the wrong one down. Okay, that might be a little better. Sorry about that. Yeah, when I move with all the mic stuff, buttons get pushed. Men bleed. Yeah, men bleed. Sorry, hold on a second. The ultimate expression of the female form is a man, I guess. Now, the thing is, the woman who started this, Edinger, I don't think she's trans. I think she's just a woman. But the idea that you're basically telling, oh yeah, no, what you thought made you a woman, your uniqueness, your the rights that you fought for as a woman, sorry, that doesn't make you a woman. Anybody who thinks they're a woman can be a woman. That's how unique and singular womanhood is. Try Advil Sinus. Now I'm going to try another steam sauna after this with a little snifter of Montreal whiskey. Can you lower your mic level? Is it better now? I lowered the mic. Mic check 1 2. I'm looking at the mic. It should be better now. It's a clown country now. Oh, so you know what? We'll end on this anecdote because I wake up this morning after the third night of torturous pain, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the freaking clinics here because hashtag kidding, not kidding. I don't know if they're going to prescribe me antibiotics or medical assistance in dying. Gee, Dave, we don't have a lot of doctors here today. You might want to just kill yourself instead. So I didn't want to go to the clinic, but I ended up having to go to a clinic. And I go to the clinic, I Google the nearest clinic to me, and I show up thinking it's a clinic that's open to the public. I get in, and there's a sour-faced woman behind a counter already like this. I didn't even say anything. I was like, what's the problem? Mettez un masque. Put on a mask. So I put on a mask. I was like, I really need to see a doctor just to get my sinus infection antibiotics. It's like, no, on n'a pas de place aujourd'hui. Like, no place today. It's like, what do you mean? Il faut appeler le matin à 7 heures le matin. You have to call at 7 in the morning in the hopes of getting, one of the 10 positions that they have open in a clinic in a village of 10,000 people. And she's like, I already turned away 20 people today. But with the way she said it, it was almost like she felt powerful about, I turned away 20 people in medical need because we only have one doctor in this big, beautiful government building. And I know you've prepaid for your taxes and all that stuff. I know you've prepaid your taxes. And when it comes time to need your free healthcare, it's just not there for you. But you need to, I said, what do you expect me to do now? Go to the hospital. So I'm going to go to the freaking hospital so I can waste that resource so that is intended for like emergencies so I can get an antibiotic prescription for a sinus infection. You imagine all of the leaps and bounds that we did for digitizing the world during COVID. We haven't really figured out a way to maximize online diagnoses for minor medical ailments. Oh, but the pride and like, it was like, she was the one behind the counter telling me. And I mean, she'd have to be blind not to see the agony that I was in. No. J'ai déjà envoyé 20 personnes âgées, 20 people. Oh. So that's it. And then I was having this discussion with my wife on the way back, and she's like, it's not much better in the States. It costs us an arm and a leg for insurance. And I was like, yeah, but it cost us an arm and a leg in Canada. They just got it from you right from the get-go. And then when it comes time to need it, at least we get a doctor, and at least you can go to a doctor and get a prescription in a heartbeat. It'll cost you something, but in Canada, you've just paid up front for it. You've uploaded it, even if you never need to download it. And then by the time it comes to download it, like, oh, file not here. So, and it's not to say that the American system is perfect, and it's by no means perfect, because I know what we pay for health insurance, and I know what we have to co-pay when we go to them. But at least I can get a flipping doctor when I need one. Ahoy, we're back to potato. Let me see here. Ahoy, potato viva. Don't jinx it, Samantha. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to head on over to Rumble, and we're going to talk about this. Let me see this here. Viva, be sure to secretly film that doctor consultation on your sinus infection, and let's see how he really refers you to Maid. Wow, talk about blockbuster video. Okay. No, but and then the things I'm not into like recording those things of how, putting people's faces on stuff, but yeah, the healthcare sucks, period. And you imagine they told you 2 weeks to flatten the curve, to ruin your life and destroy society. The underlying assumption was that they would do something to make the system better. The underlying premise was that it was COVID that was messing up the system, not the system messed up itself. The system's been messed up for decades. 4 years, nothing. 4 years, I covered this a little while ago. They're turning people away from the hospital. You have a 9-hour wait at the Montreal hospital. Yep, get your ass back to Florida and the sun and the salt and the ocean and the freedom. Okay, Viva, is Colorado putting Trump back on? They're not. Okay, so we're going to get into this on Rumble, but they're not putting him back on because they never actually took him off. Hold on. They never actually took him off. They suspended their decision, just like Shenna Bellows did in Maine. So that's the good segue. We're going to go over there. Come on over to, I'll give everyone the link to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Sorry if I'm visibly lacking energy today, but it's more important that we get the news coverage and explain what's going on, because it's the same bullshit that's going on in Colorado. They didn't actually, this woman, Shenna Bellows, she suspended her decision, pending adjudication from the higher courts. But what she's done in the meantime, she's engaged in an act of judicial provocation. She's demoralized millions of people. She's made herself a righteous hero of the democracy that she's destroying. And that's how they do it. Okay, so hold on. We're gonna go over it, and we'll go over not the entire decision, but the decision is cut and paste basically from Colorado. That's the link to Rumble, and the link to Locals is there. So we're gonna end it, and we're going to go over to Rumble right now. Everybody else, YouTube, if you're not coming over, I'll see you tomorrow. Happy New Year. But everyone else, come on over to Viva Fry on Rumble. Trump decision and what's going on in Texas and some other fun stuff. Apparently Texas can't enforce its own border, It's controlled demolition. It's hold on. What's the expression? Once is enemy once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is enemy action. What's it called when it's institutionalized? Institutionalized destruction of society, open borders, make illegal immigrants into the police. Take care of the illegals before you take care of the citizens. Homeless veterans on the street, but sanctuary cities. Controlled demolition. And the more chaos, the better, because like I've always said, the more chaos government generates, the more they grant themselves by way of extended powers to deal with the chaos they generate. It's like Frank Underwood from Game of Thrones, when he said, we don't What do you say? We don't respond to terror. We are the terror. Apply that mutatis mutandis to all the problems out there. The government is not the solution. The government is the problem. And when they create a problem or exacerbate a problem or fail to resolve a problem, they appoint themselves as the solution to that problem. All right, and now being totally neurotic and OCD, I'm going to try to end this on YouTube at 30 minutes on the nose. 5, 4, I got to give